Are you ready to breathe the way that you were meant to breathe? As we are ending off our Breathe series, we're looking back at what it means to breathe in and to breathe out. We learned that breathing in for the soul is inspiration and breathing out is worship. But have you realized that breathing is actually rhythmic? When I breathe in and out, there is this little moment that we pause. And this last week we are going to speak about what it means to pause, and we are connecting it specifically to worship. Now, we get the picture of what worship is, am I right? And we understand why we worship. I think we don't often ask the question too much. We should ask the question, in fact, way more. What is worship? What does it mean to worship? That's the first point we're going to look at today. You see, sometimes it's better to first look at what worship is not. And first of all, this is probably the most groundbreaking fact that you will ever hear. Worship is not about you. Worship is not self-exaltation. Worship is not self-centered. The reality is worship is not about an individual. It's not about getting our needs met. If you're part of a church, it's not about how well the pastor preaches or how amazing the worship team is. Worship is to be sincerely focused on God. An unknown author said the following: "We have become a generation of people who worship our work at our play, and play at our worship." You see, worship is about our Father God. Worship is about Him. The purpose is to honor and to exalt His name. It says in Psalms 95, verse 6 to 7, "Come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker, for He is our God. We are the people He watches over, the flock under His care. If only you would listen to His voice today." Now, immediately we are convinced that when we read this line, that this means that the only place that worship can take place is in church. But Paul actually says the one way which you can worship God the most effectively, listen to this. In Romans 12 verse 1, it says, "Therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship." Now that's more or less what worship is, am I right? Now we need to also understand, why do we worship? It says in Psalm 122 verse 1, it says, "When they said, 'Let's go to the house of God,' my heart leaped for joy. And now we're here, O Jerusalem, inside Jerusalem's walls. Jerusalem, a well-built city, a place for worship, the city to which the tribes ascend. All God's tribes go up to worship, to give thanks to the name of God." You see, the truth about man is, because we are made in the image of God, there is this longing in us to be with God. You see, worship nurtures our need to be in relationship with God. God made us, but He did not just make us. He redeemed us, and He also provides for us. So the only natural, the only logical response is to worship Him. Now, why do we specifically speak about pausing? You see, pause is to worship. There's this little word that we read in the Psalms, the word Selah. And it actually means, in some translations, to pause, to take in the moment. And this is my challenge for you this week. Perhaps you are struggling with breathing because you are not pausing. You are not taking in the moment. You are not accepting the fact that God is in control of your life, that there's just some things that you cannot control. This is my challenge for you this week, to really take in who God is. Listen to this verse. It says, "But you, O Lord, are a shield about me, my glory and the lifter of my head. I cried aloud to the Lord, and He answered me from His holy hill." Selah. It's almost as if the writer wants you to just pause and to surrender yourself to God. That's my challenge to you this week. And as we listen to this worship song, I encourage you to take in who God is and to really pause and Selah.
lungs with the wind of your spirit. Breath to breath, I'm dependent on you. Faithful God, you are calling me closer. When morning dawns and evening fades, I need your grace. Let every breath I breathe pour out in praise toward the King. Jesus forever true, my every breath will worship you. Tame my fears as I lean on your spirit. Trusting all of my heart unto you. Let your passion burn like a fire in my soul. When morning dawns and evening fades, I'll seek your face. Let every breath I breathe pour out in praise toward the King. Jesus forever true, my every breath will worship you. 'Cause it's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. Great are you, Lord. Great are you, Lord. Great are you, Lord.
If you enjoyed this video, you are more than welcome to like and to subscribe and to maybe share this with someone if it meant something to you.